What's up, guys? So today in this video, we're going to be going over some bro science myths. There's a lot of people out there who give really bad bro science advice, and you might be considering believing their advice, or you might believe their advice just because they're bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, or all that and above. So I'm going to get into reasons why you should, maybe, I don't know. We're going to see, got to find out in the video. All right, guys. So when we're talking about bro science in general, we mean big, heavy weights. We need 2 days a week, full body, kill ourselves all day, every day, 1,000-mile run, David Goggins style. Because if we don't train our muscles big and we don't put enough effort into it, our muscles won't grow. We need to really push, push, push. And you know what? 2 days full body isn't enough. We need 3 days full body, or 4 days, or all a week for that case. All week, all day, all every day, 24 hours a day, every minute of the day, max rep intensity to really see the gains. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. A lot of people out there, they find this type of advice when they go to the gym, this bro science advice. They see guys who are big, juiced up, humongous, ripped, shredded, and they ask them for advice. They're like, well, what can I do to look like you? And rather than telling them the truth, which is most people who are really, really big are on performance enhancing drugs, they tell them to just kill themselves. They give these crazy, ill-advised workout routines that are horrible, horrendous, where you're training every single body part of every single day of the week with max intensity, and you're pretty much trying to kill yourself at the gym with your workouts. And they tell you that you need to be eating 6,000 calories, like some Hollywood actors out there. I'm not gonna say anyone, but if you guys know, you guys know. Um, I'm telling you, you have to eat all these crazy calories. You have to eat 1 hour every hour of the day. You have to be eating all this stuff, all these specifics. They try to make it sound almost impossible. But if you really look at what pro bodybuilders do and what people who know what they're talking about do, for example, Ronnie Coleman, he only trained 45 minutes a day. He barely had to train. Dorian Yates trained 4 to 5 times a week. Um, what's his name? Jay Cutler. He trained abs once every 2 days. He didn't train abs every day. Some people really overestimate how hard it is to get into shape. It really isn't that hard. And people who are in shape and want to hide the fact that they're using steroids or any other performance enhancing drug for that matter, which actually I need to cover one of these videos one day because a lot of people don't know these different ones. There's not just steroids, there's PEDs that are PEDs. Those are PEDs, except performance enhancing drugs. There are anabolics. There are, I'm trying to think of the oral ones. There's a lot of oral ones. Um, I can't think of it right now, but there's a lot of stuff out there that you guys could be taking that isn't just steroids necessarily, like growth hormone too. But it's not good, and all these people are taking all this stuff, and some of them are even using linthol or synthol oil. Like they go and inject it, and you see these guys who are huge, and it's just all oil. There's no there's most they're more oil than muscle. They're more oil than human in some cases. And it's gross. There was this one video that I watched a while ago where it's this guy flexing and in the middle of a bodybuilding competition, oil just starts leaking out of his shoulder. I don't know if you guys have seen that before, but that's what happens when you you don't actually put in the natural effort. If you put, I mean, he did put in effort. Clearly, most people put in effort, even if they are bodybuilders training. But the only thing is that they're using not natural supplements, not natural stuff, and it gives off the appearance that they know something that you don't. Don't just listen to this. And also, it doesn't mean all the time, that people, if they're bigger than you or stronger than you, you've been training just as long, just as much as them, that they know more than you. They could also just have really crazy genetics. Like Chris Bumstead. Let me give you, I don't know if I have to find a picture, but Chris Bumstead when he was younger, I'm going to put a picture here. he was younger, he was crazy ripped, amazing. He could have been a bodybuilder, easily done amazing without steroids. And Ronnie Coleman is to another example. If you find pictures of him when he was natural, I'm gonna try to find a picture of him when he was natural. And I'll put it here too. Uh, there, and he's gone. There, so you guys could see that he's crazy. Like even before steroids, and then after steroids, they just become monsters. And it's crazy. Sometimes people are just those genetic freaks out there. And I'm sure too that there are more freakier genetics out there in the world than Ronnie Coleman. Most people decide not to be bodybuilders. I'd say if we look at the population, 90 something percent of the population decide not to be bodybuilders. And even if we're accounting for people who have good genetics be more likely to decide to be bodybuilders, I'd still say the majority of the global population is not is not interested in bodybuilding. So there's probably a few Ronnie Colemans out there in the world, which is kind of scary, and a few people that have even crazier genetics than him and crazier genetics than Chris Bumstead, just walking around somewhere, wherever they are. And who knows, maybe your friends or people that you know are one of those people who just have crazy, freaky genetics. You're never going to be able to, I mean, even if you did take steroids, you probably weren't going to look like what Chris Bumstead looked like without steroids. And you could be taking the whole kitchen sink and you still wouldn't look anything like Chris Bumstead, for most people in most cases. Same thing with Ronnie Coleman. You could take every single steroid in the world and you still probably wouldn't look anywhere near as juiced up as he did naturally, which is absolutely insane. And that just goes to show how far genetics with hard work can get you. I always say, remember, you're always trying to be a better version of yourself. And if you're really looking for advice, good fitness advice, I recommend watching my videos, which I think would be kind of obvious. And if you want to watch other people's videos, there's some really good other YouTubers, fitness YouTubers out there, like Coach Greg, Mike Israel, Jeff Nippard, More Plates, More Dates. There's this other guy, bioengineer, I think was his name. He's also a really good guy I've been watching recently. There's a lot of good information on building muscle and for functionality, having a good body for everything in general. And even if you don't have the best genetics, I can guarantee you, for most of you, even if you have the bottom 10% of genetics, if you train, you could become above average. It's all just about hard work, determination, putting in the effort. So if it's bottom 10% can become as strong as the top 20% or 10% through hard work and determination. Let's say you're in the top 50%, which is what most likely you are. Most people are in the 50% range. You'll be able to get maybe even in the top 5% of people if you just train your whole life and really put in the effort, and stay to a solid, consistent routine and stop listening to this bro science stuff. Whenever you're training, train smart and don't overdo it. We want to train with good, proper form to avoid injury. The reason I say train with good form isn't because you could get no gains with training with bad form, is to avoid injury, because there's some people who train with bad form and they're powerlifters. They want quick, explosive power, and I guess you're getting quick, explosive power with those movements that you have in powerlifting. I'm not powerlifting, and a lot of people who work out, when they do work out with bad form, they're doing it explosively, so they could be building explosive power. The issue is they have more risk of getting injured because they're contorting their bones and their tendons in ways they're not supposed to. And if you train your body properly, your tendons won't be strong, in certain areas, even if you do train it properly. So then if you do it with some reps of bad form, you could snap a bone, snap your tendons. Muscles could get pulled off straight from the bone. It's very dangerous. And all of these bro science guys are always the guys who are getting injured. So I never recommend that you do what they do. And there's some people, like I said, genetic freaks like David Goggins, who can run 100 miles in like a weekend. Yeah, most people aren't going to be running 100 miles in a weekend. It takes a little bit more effort to get there, and good genetics to really make it to that type of level of endurance. So don't start thinking just because you watched a motivational video now that you're David Goggins. Take steps. You have to build on what you have to get to that level, and you also have to have a pretty good solid foundation to begin with to get to that type of level with good genetics. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. Remember to comment down below, hit like button, subscribe, anything you want to know in the future. I'm always open to listening to what you guys want to share with me, anything you want to share with me. And yeah, see you later, guys. Bye bye.